Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ways Breakfast #What Are You Saying, where we dive deep into the topics that matter to you. Today, join us as we explore important issues concerning diverse topics in Nigeria and beyond. Of course, my name is Oluchi Omenka, and this is me saying, welcome to the show. I am here, as usual, with my ladies. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
No, that's not the kind of morning God's usually gives.
That's not the
What happened in this 1 minute
Good morning.
break?
How are you?
morning.
I'm good. How are we doing today?
I'm good. Feel scarcity here and there. Aside that, economic crisis. Yeah.
Okay.
But we are here. And then I saw in the news yesterday that the PDOM, the secret investigator PDOM, has been taken to court yesterday. And
Okay.
he was coughing so bad. There was reports that he has been poisoned in prison, like in detention for
Oh
about
my
2
God.
times. Yeah, and then there's also rumor that David Udein too is, it's so sad that secret investigators are not safe at all in Nigeria. The likes of Funke Shoyombo, Fisayo Shoyombo, the likes of PDOM himself, the likes of David Udein. I mean, this should be a country where investigative journalism should thrive, right? But they are always looking for them, and the moment they catch them, they're like 12 count charges. There's stressing, there's felony, there's this, there is that, and so wrong. I really wish him well.
I mean, because
Seems
they
like
don't
that's
want,
the end of his career. So
they don't
sad,
want,
to
they
be
don't want,
honest.
they don't want their secret to be leaked out, and that's why when you were speaking of history yesterday, it made me remember what someone told me. Like one of the reasons why, according to this person, one of the reasons why they took out history from the school curriculum, courses, and all of these things is because there are some things that they don't want, the masses to be aware of, which I'm just wondering, what are those things?
Then how do we intend to train our children? Our grandparents have told us stories of Biafra War. They've told us story of Ekiti Parako. They told us story of Aba Women Riot. But if there's nothing to back up our claim that, okay, there was something called NSAS, End Protest, NSAS Protest. There was something called Hunger Protest. There was something called this. How do we explain to our children? Because you're literally clearing all the tracks, which is really wrong. I mean, I really wish I have like some superpower to go save PDOM from where he is, but then it's a very sensitive topic, so it's best to
very
just
personal for you.
Yeah.
Well, this morning, it happened again this morning. It happened firstly this week. I think on Monday when I was coming to work, passing Third Mainland Bridge, and I realized that a particular car, not a particular car, a car was actually burnt on the road, and it was burning with flames. So there was traffic in front, and we were wondering what was causing the traffic. And when we passed by, the heat, the flame, was even getting to me. And I'm wondering, why is this reoccurring on the bridge? Just made me realize that you should be thankful every morning that you get to where you're going to safe. And, we'll thrive, honestly. We're going to actually survive no matter what our economy or the government is saying. And that's why today's topic is a bit different. Yes, we're going to look through the news, look through the updates and the facts and all of that. But we want to discuss maintaining sanity in an economic situation that is really biting us hard. So this is something that you should join us and discuss and be part of. So if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please go to our official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button, like and share the link. All right, so we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look to the headlines across Nigerian newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back, viewers. This is still Ways Breakfast. Thank you for staying with us. Let's look at the news from the pages of today's newspaper. We have the Punch, the Vanguard, and the New York Times, and the Guardian newspaper. So start with the Punch. The major headline reads, petrol price hike. Labor demands reversal set to meet. Marketers await Dangote refinery pricing template as NNPCL emerges sole buyer. Oyo Monarchs Council Vice Chair tackles shown over Ogbomosho Chief Imam. And fleeing buttock enlargement doctor now in custody, says Lagos Police. 34 Yobe villagers killed by Boko Haram gets mass burial. And above that, the hunger protest says police quiz staff of wanted Britain. And PDP governors knock Wike, says Fubara Rivers party leader. Power generation hits 5,313 MW first time in 3 years. And that's what we have in the Punch newspaper. Of course, what is really on everybody's mind right now is the fuel scarcity, the hike in petrol price. And I'm so surprised I'm not seeing this across the major papers, in Nigeria today, because I read or I saw a video in the internet where Alhaji Aliko Dangote was being interviewed, and the refinery is actually set and ready to run. And the only thing that we're waiting for now is the endorsement from NNPCL. And I'm hearing, because you're smiling, please have hope. I'm hearing that NNPCL is going to be like the sole distributor of this. Like Dangote will sell to them or give to them, and then they distribute it. So I'm waiting. Like, can it just start running? What are they still trying to approve? And Dangote has reassured us, keeps reassuring us that this is going to beat the quality of any other kind of fraud that we've seen. Our vehicles will be safe, the cost of living will be better, the living condition generally in Nigeria is going to improve. And that is the news I want to say this morning. There are a lot of things on the headlines this morning, but I'll just touch on that.
Let me take it from there, because that is the screaming headline on the page of the Guardian newspaper. The headline says, confusion over new pump price as Dangote petrol set for market. It was in the news all through yesterday that history breaks itself after 28 years. And tomorrow is when 48 hours will be due. He said it yesterday, so 24 hours today, 24 hours tomorrow. So we believe that by tomorrow, petrol. Yes, I saw a video of the new petrol. It's as clean as what I mean. It was looking so white, and I was like, oh, okay. So let's hope, but let's not raise our hopes too much about the price. I'm not saying the fuel will not be good. The fuel will be good. It will relieve a lot of
stress.
Not stress. Yes, stress when it comes to traffic and scarcity. But for the price, Dangote is not an NGO. Dangote is not running charity organization. All what he put in there were built with dollars and millions of dollars. So I'm not expecting like 600 naira per liter. I'm expecting like 1,500 naira per liter. But then, all fingers crossed. It's good to expect more. So when it goes below, it doesn't. You're like, okay,
I'm expecting 500 naira per liter.
I'm not serious.
But tomorrow we give you the breaking news.
For now, it's just him distributing. Do you get? So, of course, the price will not, there will be not really much different from what we have right now. But I'm very sure of the quality, just like I said yesterday.
Yeah, and import duties will be out. Import duties will be out.
Okay.
So, taking a look at the other newspaper on the page of the Guardian newspaper, the next one says, suspected secessionist bomb Anambra Police Division. The next one says, court sends whistleblower to Kuje over classified document leak. This is related to the investigative journalism I'm talking about. There's little or no difference between a whistleblower and an investigative journalist. They help uncover things that were trying to be covered on.
Yes.
I watch a lot of them and I see what they do. They put in so much effort. Some will go to prison intentionally to uncover documents, to uncover incidents. Some will waste their life and to go as far as Anambra, go to Semeboda to uncover rice deals. And I saw one where someone literally left Nigeria to go to Burkina Faso to investigate so many things. So their time, their money, their effort, their security, because they are trying to pin the camera somewhere where nobody else can see.
Yeah.
I feel like they should be applauded because they are putting a lot on the line just to do this. But then it is what it says. The next one says, 2027, Obi unveils Tanko as coordinator for Obedient Coordinator. Obedient Movement, my bad. The next one says, Nigeria now third most indebted nation to World Bank. IDA with $2.2 billion. Beyond direct cash transfer to 4.3 Nigerians, Falana falls pressing charges against protesters. PDP governor's fourth week's fire threat. And lastly, subscribers stranded as NIMC servers downtime slow, SIM NIN update. That is the news from the page of the Guardian newspaper. Those are the news from the page of the Guardian newspaper. Next, please.
Okay, so I just want to quickly touch on what you just said now. So Nigeria is owing how much again?
$2.2 billion. Service loan, interest charges.
Love it.
Subsidy removal.
Beautiful.
Building of construction of Nigeria to UK. We put in a lot of effort. People are just not seeing us. Why people need to calm down?
True.
Eh? God bless Nigeria.
Can't take any more sarcasm.
Okay, so there's really not much going on the New York newspaper, right? So I'll quickly read up all the headlines. So, by the last part of the newspaper, we have Biden in tow, Harris courts union voters, campaign bleeds across blue wall states. So that one is just stating that Biden is. I mean, we already know that Biden has Harris has the full support of Biden, but this time around, Biden is just stating out some of his administrative plans that he would have had earlier if he has not stepped down, from the presidential run. Why giving it to Harris so that Harris sees and just continue from where he stops. Then by the right side, right there, we have Netanyahu vows to keep control of Gaza border. Truth Hope seems dim. Biden says the Israeli leader isn't doing enough to reach a deal. To be honest, I'm already tired of having to see Gaza war on the newspaper every day because there's nothing that is not going on there. It's either Netanyahu is trying to talk to probably the Russia or like both the Israel and the Russians and both Biden as well. They're just having this whole argument. Are they coming to settlement? Are they coming to, a truce or not? Like there's just this back and forth on it. And like I said, honestly speaking, I'm tired of having to see it on the newspaper every day. Now, middle of the newspaper, we have the book of Hamas wrote on fighting Israeli forces on the ground. Bottom of the newspaper, we have among the butter scriptures, was revealed in a state fair. Next to that, we have after strategy, deaf campers, several the summer. Next to that, which is the last headline on the newspaper, we have 51 go on trial as rape case shakes France. And that's all I have for you on the New York Times.
All right, thank you very much for taking us through the New York Times, the Guardian, and the Punch. Let's go straight to the hot topic that we have for today, but we have to take a short break now. When we return, we'll introduce our guests and get started on our conversation. So stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back, viewers. This is Ways Breakfast. On Wednesday like this, we discuss mental health and how to better our mental health. But we know that in our country today, we've been facing a lot of economic hardship. So today, we want to discuss maintaining sanity amidst biting economic hardship. With the rising cost of living and financial uncertainty becoming a reality for so many, it's more important than ever to talk about how we can protect our mental well-being during tough times. So whether you're feeling the pinch or you just want to be prepared for whatever comes next, we are here to explore all of that. So we have a guest who will be joining us today. His name is Uwagu Christian Daniel. He's the outgoing president of the Student Association of Professional Counselors in Nigeria. He's a researcher and a relationship enthusiast. Good morning, Mr. Daniel.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for having me
So
again.
glad, to have you again. We had you the last time talking about mental health as well, but today we want to take it a bit different and talk about how we can, maintain sanity and keep sane, keep alive, honestly, in our country today with the present challenges that we're facing. So I want to start from the very beginning. What are some of the biggest challenges people face when trying to maintain their mental health during tough economic times?
I think this question, when I first saw the topic, I was moved because I asked myself, am I actually even surviving this economy based on the whole thing that's been happening? And I will put it to you and your co-hosts, are you guys surviving? Is it looking easy? And then when we talk about the challenges, I think it's affecting every one of us, and it's something that I think is this. It goes with the saying that the rich also cry. So when people have so much money to get fuel, and then they still have to wait up on the queue with people who are buying 1 liter, people who are buying 2 liters, and you want to buy full tank, still have to queue. So I think it goes beyond your financial capabilities this time. It's something that is affecting each and every one of us. And some of the challenges we face, apart from finance, is the fact that many of us are just very delusional. And then we also have things that are caused by religious activities as well. So I'll pick the part of being delusional. I see many Nigerians today, we believe that things are supposed to be in a certain way just because we feel it should be so, just because we have been told it's going to be so. For instance, you see people working their ass out in the wrong profession because maybe, let's say, their pastor has told them to do that, or they believe that the Bible has said this, or the Quran has said this. So they go ahead to do things that they may not supposed to be doing. For instance, also another one is people not understanding themselves. I think one problem we have in Nigeria is trying to fit round pegs in square holes. When you try to do that, you need to adjust that round peg so much so that it looks like it's losing itself. So that's what happens to many Nigerians. We try to fit ourselves into the wrong positions, into the wrong occupations, into the wrong settings, into the wrong communities. And at the expense of that, we are losing ourselves. So imagine you moving to a new place, and all you are doing is trying to fit into the wrong place. And eventually, when you do, you discover that you are not even yourself anymore. And then that sets any little thing in that kind of scenario will give you distress. Any little thing in that kind of scenario will lead to mental instability. So I think as Nigerians, one of the problem or a major problem is the inability to understand ourselves. The fact that many of us are just so delusional that we believe things should be a certain way for us because maybe faith has predicted that it should be like that for us, or maybe because we just feel like it should be like that. We know the kind of government we have in Nigeria where nothing is guaranteed. Even the constitution sometimes may not be guaranteed. We see people being charged to court because they protested. I mean, these are people who are performing their civic rights. It is their right to protest. It is their right to protest, but they're being charged to court for treason, right? So some of these things are what we know as Nigerians. So it is important for us to understand our environment as much as we try to understand ourselves to prevent us from getting into mental or emotional distress that can now lead to other kinds of problems. So I think these few challenges I've listed are some of the common ones we have in Nigeria today.
Thank you, Daniel. Now, we are speaking directly to how to maintain our mental health, and it's a very serious conversation. I mean, if you don't want to be pushed to the wall, unconsciously, something or the price of something will push you to the wall. So I saw a tweet online that I want to read out from. The person says, listening to the radio station and people are just complaining. Someone was even crying. Someone replied, Nigeria is insanely hard, like very, very, very hard. Someone else replied, she said, There is no day I enter public transport and people are complaining. Then someone also replied that a caller on the radio station just said, why is Tinubu doing this to us? I mean, this tweet is screaming emotions, pain, agony, distress. When you go to the market, you are complaining. When you enter public transport, someone was saying this morning that Aja to Lekki was 500 before, but she took it 1,200 this morning. Yeah. And I'm wondering, okay, from mainland to island, from mainland to Lekki, you take maybe Yanoworo 500. From Yanoworo, you take 500 to Lekki, 1,000. If from Aja here to Lekki is about 1,200, you can imagine how stressed people are. And you will not just get there and there's one bus that you just up in. There are like 1,001 people. You already planned in your mind, okay, God, I'm spending 2,000 naira to walk, 500 naira to 500 naira for. If I want to buy cheap food, I'll spend 500 naira and I'll buy water. You already budgeted 2,000 naira in your head from your house. But when you get to the bus stop, you are meeting 1,200. You are mentally disorganized already. So now, how do we stay mentally sharp? I'm using that word sharp amidst all of this plenty crisis, because please help us.
It's only God that can help us, to be very honest. So let me be very direct and very practical. This is something that works for me, right? So I think most times what we do as humans is we use the post-mortem strategy. Post-mortem strategy is when you have experienced a failure or you have made a mistake or something bad has happened, and then you try to go back to retrace your step and to see what could possibly, what could have possibly happened. It's something that the firefighters use. When there is a fire outbreak, they go back to see what could have caused the fire and then try to prevent it from reoccurring, probably in the same building or in for other buildings that are similar, to prevent it from happening. So there's something called the pre-mortem now. The pre-mortem this time is for trying to foresee an unfortunate event and think about the highest possible occurrence that could lead to that, and thereby preparing for it to prevent it from happening. So it's something I do. Now, in Nigeria, we know there's nothing you want to do that you won't experience stress. I discussed it the other time, that it is impossible to want to survive in Nigeria and not be prepared for stress, because stress is part of our daily living, right? So if you know this already, you know the kind of country you live in, you should be able to prepare beyond all reasonable doubt. Okay, sometimes things can go wrong. Let me give an instance. During before I gained admission for my undergraduate studies, I wanted to study psychology. So I took my JAM and I did everything I was supposed to do. I had quite a reasonable high score for my JAM. So I was expecting my admission, but unfortunately it didn't happen. I know why it did not happen. In fact, I had foreseen it to an extent why it did not happen. But then I know people who did not even have anything close to my JAM score. They were screaming, Unilag is crazy, Unilag is mad, Unilag is partial, Unilag is money. If you don't have money, you can't get into Unilag. But if you look at it objectively, I say this so often, that this school that's the University of Lagos is the most transparent university when it comes to admission on merit. So I knew this, and the next time I applied, I got the course I wanted. In fact, my name was number 1 on the admissions list. Not because I didn't know anybody in the admissions office to give me that kind of privilege. So I just did what I had to do, and I did it right. I'm an orphan, so it's something that you have to be exceptional before you can even get things like that. So I didn't have to do too much. I just sat down, I thought about the possible things that could prevent me from getting what I want. And then I just made sure I checked all the boxes and I did the right thing. And then I got what I wanted, right? So this is what I would suggest, right? So when you know you live in a country like Nigeria, and you know you want to get to, let's say you want to get to Badagry, looking at the economic situation, think, what's the worst thing that can happen today when I step out? Okay, there's no fuel. The prices could be 1,500 on the average. Okay, let's now say there's no now bus as there's no fuel. So the bus is available. What would they do? Hike prices. Let me prepare 2,000 naira. It can never go wrong unless there's no bus at all, or maybe there's an accident, or there's no way to get to Badagry. So you think about double the price of what you want to go out. If you don't have to go out, sit in your house, right? So think about all these things and let your plans be to avoid failure, not your plans be to fall into some of these things, right? So I think this one is this is one strategy that has actually helped me so much to maneuver my way through mental stress and having mental breakdowns in a system like Nigeria, where nothing is very predictable.
With the way Nigeria is right now, the cost of living is actually affecting the living, and we all know that that's the truth, right? So let's speak a bit about financial literacy. I feel like anything that has to do with, spending money and all of these things, a lot of people are not educated about it. And I like the fact that you already opened, you already spoke about it, but like in a bit. So I'd like you to expatiate on it. How do you think financial literacy will actually impact us to manage stress, to manage before we fall into depression now because we cannot buy certain things, or we cannot afford certain things? Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, I think financial literacy in this part of the world is not, we feel like it's, in fact, I personally believe financial literacy is something you need to start getting when you are making the money, but it is actually wrong. Financial literacy is for the low income earners as well as the high income earners, so that you'll be able to manage whatever is in your hands. Now, when you hear financial literacy, you might put you on the pedestal that, okay, this is how you spend money when you have so much money. No, financial literacy is basically about how you manage the little you have to be enough to cater for what you have, and also have savings and investments. Now,
Let's be
savings and
practical.
investment.
I want us to be practical because, in a
that's
country like this, not everybody save. Haven't you heard the money that you save today would actually save you towards the end of the month?
I think this is where I get to share my own personal story. I am financially prudent.
Okay.
I am financially prudent. I took a course earlier this year where we learned about magic number and all of that. So there is an Excel sheet where I do my monthly budget. I write light bill, I write everything. I mean, detailed. If I'm getting money from someone, I write money from this person, I'll put it there. And I realized that I calculated for August, I think yesterday also, and I realized that I spent close to, didn't even name the number, and my salary was like 1/4 of what I spent. And I realized that most of the things I spent money on were necessary things. We're not extraordinary things. We're not, I went to do self-care. I went to do this thing. They were basic things. And the basic things still cost me a lot. So I feel like being financially prudent or budgeting or writing this thing, I feel like it will even stress you financially, because you will ask yourself, how did I spend 500K?
God bless you.
What did you buy?
You gonna say
only food. 1 kilo of talking goes for 7,200.
You can imagine.
This will only serve someone or one person, or maybe man and wife. Just imagine man, wife, and a child. How would they do it? So as much as you are trying to be financially prudent, I feel like you don't need to be. Just as long as you have the money, save it your current service. Insufficient fund. Thank you very much. Take your card and just go.
And that's not something that would help us. So, I would want you to expatiate. Well, how do you think we can go about this whole thing?
Hello, Mr. Daniel. Are you still with us? All right. So, Yupu mentioned something. I was thinking he was going to say something before I put in my own 2 cents. I always call it 2 cents because
it's more than one.
So, I hear you when you say that, when you save, right, because of the economic situation of the country and how your money is just going to be flying up and down.
I like the fact that you're using flying.
Yes, let's be realistic. We're trying to be realistic here. Eventually, whatever you save or whatever you're earning cannot, help with your expenses. But I usually like to think that no matter how deep we are, no matter how far gone we are, if we take away hope, we are very useless because humanity itself is built on hope. And I was hearing a very elderly person say to me one time that, yes, we complain about Nigeria a lot. We are saying the economic situation, but guess what? This has been going on in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s. It's not a new thing, but yet people have survived through it all. So I think one good mentality we should have, yes, we are putting financial literacy, we are putting, prudency in spending and all of that, but you should have a never give up attitude and a survival mindset. I know it seems like this is still a bit of big grammar, but trust me, that is how human beings are wired. We are wired to depend on just something that is beyond us, just still hold on to. I'm saying this with a lot of emotion because I know what it means to actually survive. I know what it means to not have everything all figured out, but you cannot just give up. You can't just give up. You can't just die. You can't just go into depression. Yes, you would rant, you would complain, you read through the headlines, you will say what you want to say, but you have to sit down and also think. Because you know what, in this same country that we're talking in, I know this can sound a bit controversial for some people, but some people are still trying to survive.
Definitely.
They are still trying to survive and they are doing it okay. So their own kind of complaint is different from what the poor man is saying. So as a person, if you're average, if you're middle class, start thinking of alternatives. I call this lay your table, lay everything. Look at every means possible for me to survive because you cannot just give up. We have to still hope. And I know that's why I really wanted this today's show to take a different angle. The news, we read the news every morning and we know what to read. I mean, someone quote somewhere, a journalist was complaining on her Instagram, somebody I follow that I really love. And somebody was like, how do you do this? You always get to read the news. Apart from that, you are meditating on it because you have to analyze, give your own 2 cents on it. I'm always saying 2 cents. I'm like, how do you manage to do this? We have to. That's our job. But you have to look at hope. You have to believe. You have to trust that there could be alternative measures. So concerning savings, if you've realized that your income is not meeting up to your expenses, which is for everybody right now, start considering alternative source of income. I know it might look like a very long haul or something that might not happen immediately, but start considering it. Do you understand? We can't just throw it all. All right, we have our guests back with us. Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I lost my connection very briefly back then.
All right,
sorry.
All right, so we're discussing about the practicality of savings, and I was going another way, trying to encourage and give hope. So what do you have to say about financial literacy before we take a short break and come back to our conversation?
Okay, so as I was saying earlier, financial literacy is about being able to meet your needs, not your wants now, being able to meet your needs and still be able to save and invest. And then I remembered rather that we are actually, sometimes what you save, we actually eventually save you. And the culture in Nigeria most times is that we are working from hand to mouth. That is for the most percentage of Nigerian employed people. We don't have enough to even meet our needs, talk less of saving. So in this kind of situation, it is now left to us. No matter how little it is, that's where you bring in the practicality. No matter how little it is, remove something for savings, because you don't know when, you don't know how, but you definitely need that money one day and it will save you, just like you have saved it. So remove.
It might save you earlier than you thought.
Exactly. No, I don't let it be too early. Try to find alternative solutions to financial needs, like taking, we are young people here, so there are always things you can do, even if it's remotely, even if it's to pick up extra jobs that you can do online to foot some of your bills, right? So these things are not easy, I know, but for you to remain sane, it is necessary. So if you can adapt, if you can be intelligent enough to figure out creative means of getting income, then I think you are one of the heroes of this generation.
That's a very good way to end this particular conversation. One of the heroes of this generation. We hope that we eventually become such. So we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look at another dimension of this conversation. So stay tuned with us. We'll be right back shortly. All right, welcome back, viewers. This is Two Ways Breakfast, where we discuss trendy issues as it concerns us all. Today, Wednesday, we're discussing how to maintain sanity in an economic situation that is biting really hard. And we have a guest that has, joined us to discuss with us and, open different perspective to this conversation. I was saying something and then I remembered an illustration I forgot to mention. So yes, we're in a country where everybody's complaining, you enter the bus. These days when I enter into the bus, I think we should start practicing that. We already know the news. You don't need to hear more news from the bus so that you can be sane. I use my earpiece, plug it in. I don't want to hear no more story. When I get to the office, I already see what punch is telling me. So don't give me any more details because we really need to be calm. We need to stay focused. And one way to stay focused is to protect what you get to hear. Do you understand? So yes, I remember that. Yes, people complain. The country is this, the country is that, which is true. We have to be realistic. We're not trying to be, what's the word now? Oblivious. Exactly. We know this is what's happening and we're facing it as well. But we're looking for the alternative to survive because we cannot just die. So I went to visit one of my friends during the weekend. And when I went to this apartment, there was a man there. He was playing loud music. He was roasting barbecue. They were drinking. They were having wild fun. And with the estimates, my financial eyes is already calculating how much must have gone here. And I know it's a lot of money. I just said, okay, maybe he's celebrating something. I went back to check my friend on Tuesday, and the same thing was happening. I'm like, okay, in this same country, some people have some funds to spend. But of course, that might not be your own situation, your own mind. You're like, what are you telling me? When did I eat chicken or eat fish? But we're saying that, at this time, it would be wise if you can be very financially prudent. Just as Mr. Daniel has mentioned, there's sometimes to cut off excesses, at least till you can gather enough and, come back to your extravagant lifestyle. But I think prudency is something that is not so mentioned. It's not so, it's not very, very rampant. People always like to spend their money, do whatever they want to do. But at this time, since you know what the economy is saying and you don't want to fall into that ditch where there's no returning, you can practice prudency much better. So I'd like us to now take this conversation in a different way and talk about community support. Because we are, we have our workplaces, we have our families, we have friends, and the struggles is also very mutual. We're all going through this thing together. So I want you to talk to us. How important is it to talk about financial struggles openly with friends and family, and how can communities help each other during this economic downturn? And you can help us with examples as well, Mr. Daniel. You're muted. Hello, Mr. Daniel. Are you still with us? All right.
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry. I was actually talking.
Okay, yes, we're muted. Okay, did you hear the question?
So,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I did. Okay. I heard the question. So, I think Africa is a place where, because of the patriarchy syndrome, men have been taught to not that your earnings, your financial capabilities should not even be disclosed to your wife because she might use it against you, something. So people find that conversation a very secretive one, right? So I have male friends here, and some of them have responsibilities, and you see one of us sometimes is in desperate need of assistance, but he would not open up. Why? Because he believes he is a man, so he's supposed to handle these things on his own, right? So this is a challenge in Africa as a whole, because there is already that mentality that men are supposed to be men when it comes to financing, when it comes to providing. So they don't like having that conversation. Imagine yourself in a family meeting where they say, okay, everybody, how are you coping financially? How much are you making and how much are you spending in a family meeting? Usually that's not the case. We just in family meetings we come to discuss how much one person will donate. Nobody wants to know how much you are making. Everybody wants to know how much you can drop for a particular upcoming family function or family event or wedding
Usually
or
burial.
ashwebi kind of stuff. So it's usually about the spending and not about how much anybody is making. Without bringing into cognizance that somebody in that gathering can actually have information that will change the life of one person going through, or that will change the situation, if not life, that will change the situation of somebody actually going through some form of financial distress or some financial loophole that they can't come out of, right? So I think community support is one thing that can start from family.
Yeah.
It is we see it happen sometimes in the church where church do workshops for financial literacy. I think I've seen a couple of that online where church do financial literacy seminars and stuff. We also have churches do skill acquisition programs, and then sometimes we have communities come together, just concerned individuals come together to do to create avenues where people can learn skills to help increase their finances. So I think those those avenues are ways by which community can we can help ourselves to increase our earnings and then to finance whatever needs we have and then also be able to save too.
And let me talk a little bit on that. I really feel like, aside from family, because to be honest, most families are not in the same place anymore. Your sister can be in Benin while your elder brother is in Abuja, or you yourself, you're in Lagos. Everybody is literally like scattered across board. I feel like it also starts from the workplace. It starts from the workplace. When you notice that your colleague that used to be very jovial is no longer jovial, maybe he now gets angry unnecessarily, I think the conversation should start from workplace, which is like where, or school setting, which is like where people meet people. So it should start from workplace, schools, and place of worship, like you said, before even family member, because right now we now do online meeting, family. Just join me via video call, and everybody just have the comment, say, how are you doing? School have resume, and auntie, please, I need money. And you are the one being billed again. Nobody's looking out whether you have financial turbulence. Let me use that word, turbulence, or financial loophole, like you said. So now, what roles are mental health advocates actually playing in helping all of these things? We know that when it comes to cases like rape cases, like cases like say yes to your rights, say no to cultism. I'm trying to remember this word, conscience. When it comes to sex, consent. Yes, thank you. Consent is key. This is that. Now, our reality right now is financial breakthrough. I think that's like what we need now, because it's not like we're not earning, we are earning, but our earning is not enough. Most of us have reduced our savings just to survive through a month. So what roles are financial experts playing, people like you, so your senior colleagues in the field, your upcoming people in the field? What roles are you people helping us to see through all of these things?
Okay. Now, I was speaking to a senior colleague, like you said. He's a very senior colleague and he's a doctor of psychiatry. He works with the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital. So I was talking to him. I said, sir, I've studied counseling and I have my first degree to an extent, although I've not gotten certificate. I have my first degree. I'm done with undergraduate studies, sir. And I want to go into the workspace. The next thing he asked me was, what skill do you have? So I was like, sir, I don't understand. I want to go into counseling and therapy. He said, what skill do you have? So I said, sir, okay, I do graphics design. He said, okay, very good. Now, go and develop that skill and then find ways that you can get internship. So he gave me the other advice he can give to me. Then he kept hammering on the skill part, right? He's not the only person that actually told me that. I also want to relocate. I want to Japan. So I was speaking to somebody there. Then I asked her, okay, how can I get scholarship for schools? The next thing she asked me again is, what skill do you have? So I think this is what many professionals are actually beginning to be open about now, telling people to get as many skills as you can get. Getting skills can't go wrong at all. Imagine having 2 to 3 skills. There's no limit to what you can earn, both online and physically, right? So the best way we can help is to tell people to get skills. Don't rely solely on your 9 to 5 jobs. Get skills that can make you work on weekends. Get skills that can make you work part-time. If there's need, you may need to quit your 9 to 5 once your skill is paying you enough. So I think getting skills is one thing mental health experts these days talk about when it comes to the area of financing your life, financing in Nigeria. Getting skills, getting in-demand skills, not just any skills, in-demand skills that are easy to learn and would guarantee you earnings in within 6 months to 1 year period of time.
Okay, so let's talk a bit. I want to take us back now to savings and investing. Now, in a country like Nigeria, we already have this traditional way of, or this mentality that when you want to save or when you want to invest, you just need to buy land. But not until government or Nigeria happens to you, you understand that even buying a land is not really an investment here in Nigeria. Do you get what I'm saying? Because, that Lagos Calabar road, maybe they not do them again. Those people's houses that were, demolished. What happened to them? Because I'm very sure that the amount that they would have, used to compensate them is not even the amount that they would use to get a new one or build a new house, right? Now I come to banking, say, okay, I want to keep money in my bank so that, it can be there and all of those things. Bank will remove their own money for maintenance, even though I don't understand what they are maintaining, you understand? It's not like a physical stuff that they are helping me clean. There's nothing they are cleaning, but they will also remove their maintenance money for every time that they are sending you alert. Their own money too is removing, because why? It's a business. Do you get what I'm saying? Now taking it down to the traditional way of give me card, make I write my money, make I write the amount where I go put for a job today. Those ones can decide to jackpot with the money, understand? And you start looking for them. So I'm just wondering, or is it piggyvest that also have their own interest? So this is me saying, how can we even save? Because it is one thing to say, remove certain amount of your money, it will save you later in life, even though you told us not to make it very early. You understand? But let's be practical. How do we even save? How do we invest? Because like I said, it is one thing to say, okay, you want to remove money, or it's one thing to say, I want to buy land. You can buy the land, finish. Nigeria happened to you, my brother. God bless you. I don't even want to go into that one because that's another different story entirely. But I would like to hear your thoughts on this because honestly, when you are able to save, or when you're able to ensure that you get a particular thing right, that's the only time you can stay sane. I'm not going to invest, buy land, finish. Person go carry and go outside. Come they tell me super story and you think I'll be sane? Of course I won't.
Okay, so if you want to buy your land, please try to buy it through real estate agents. This real Make sure you're getting the right documents, and make sure you're carrying a lawyer along too, so that when Kasala busts, at least if you fail at any point, you're not failing legally. You have legal backings to whatever possession you have. That way, you can say, let's go to court. If there's anything, let's go to court, right? So at least you can get that one right. So many lands that are hijacked, many lands that federal government do not compensate. If you check the index for those people who were not properly compensated, most of them did not have the right documents to claim the land they own or the property they own. And this is something that federal government would want to leverage to say, okay, we are not even sure you own this land. Maybe you hijacked it, maybe you grabbed it or something. So they see it as whatever they're giving you is like they're even helping you. Instead of, so once you have the right documents, definitely you can go for whatever you feel your land is supposed to worth. And also you can carry a good lawyer along too. Right. So that's for land. And then now looking at savings, let me not lie. Let me be very practical.
Okay.
Sometimes it is impossible to save.
Okay.
sometimes it is impossible to save. You can't be saving when you have needs that are unmet, and these needs are necessary for your survival, right? If you save, your next of kin will enjoy your money. So you are not saving to die, you are saving to save yourself. So when you know that it is impossible, this is an impossible situation. I mean, your basic needs for survival are not met. You are owing your landlord and you are saving. Are you whining yourself? You can't do things like that, right? So when you know your basic needs, so saving we usually give the percentage. I'm not a financial analyst, but
Okay.
the percentage should be first of all, you remove the percentage that is meant for your recurrent expenditure. That is your lights, your water bills, your food, your transportation to work to make that money that you want to save. When you remove all those ones, then you talk about the secondary needs now, right? Maybe one date, one movie night per month or something. You remove those ones,
Those are
something to just
excesses
keep
that
you
might not be
sane.
practicable again.
Secondary needs, those ones that you can forego if possible.
Yeah.
And now say okay, you can remove it, exclude this percentage, because now as a mental health enthusiast, I can't tell you that it is not necessary to remove a certain percentage of your money to make yourself feel special. Why? Because if you don't feel happy, if you're not happy with, at least let that give you a little sense of um, pleasure regarding what you do from first of the month till the last day of the month. At least let it be that okay, I'm working to give myself this gratification. It's at least in a way you're looking forward to every month, and you're looking forward to working and earning your salary just so you can have that moment to yourself. Make it quality and make it for yourself. Then you can save. Right. So in this kind of economy, you can't be overemphasizing savings when we know people don't even have enough to meet these basic needs.
True.
So if I'm telling you that you must save no matter how much you have, then I'm actually pushing you to the wall, and you will turn back and probably bite me in the head or something. Right. So it is possible to save, no, but not in every situation. Once your basic needs are met, and then you can spare something to save, then please do. But if you cannot, you can't kill yourself now. Yeah, my sister.
We have a few more minutes to go, but I'd like us to touch something quickly before we exit and end today's show. So we've talked about the serious things, savings and all of that, but we still want to maintain sanity. You mentioned that you should, give yourself to some things that make you happy once in a while. But I want you to help us now. Are there, such hobbies and interests, coping mechanisms, as some people will call it, that can help us in this particular situation that we're in without costing a lot? Not the ones that is going to cost us a lot of money. Maybe things that we can do with family, with friends, on our own, hobbies that we can start initiating that can help us, survive through turbulent times. And that's how we wrap up the show today.
Well, for me, one of the things I do to make myself happy is I don't have to spend any money. Is going on a walk. Going on a walk helps me look at things. Helps me focus on little things, and it gives me a very refreshing outlook for myself. Just plugging my ears and walking, covering as many kilometers as I can. As simple as that sounds, it works for me,
Yeah.
right? That's how I cope with stress. When I have a terrible week, or when I'm going to have a terrible week, I do that, and then my brain is re-energized in a way. I don't know how that works, but I'm still, maybe that's something I'll need to study, but it works so well for me. Sometimes it could be going to the beach, feeling the breeze. It's like the breeze is blowing away stress for you, and then that works for you. I think the basic thing here is understanding yourself. So once you understand yourself, then I'm one of the things I've been very busy with is working to prepare for a podcast. I want to start a podcast channel where we discuss things about personality, things about attitude, and how these things can shape your daily life. Many Nigerians don't understand themselves. They don't know themselves. They don't know their triggers. They don't know if they even have traumas or something that is causing problems for them today. For instance, I have a friend who, whenever he's looking for something, he becomes a very mad person. Like his brain, in fact, you won't be able to recognize him because he's looking for something he kept somewhere. and they can't find it. That already has told me that this boy may have been beaten constantly when he was a baby because of misplacing things. So there are things like that where we need to uncover and to know. And I've seen this gap, and it's something I'm looking to cover with the podcast. So I'm preparing for it, and hopefully it will be launched soon. So I think getting information also is one of the ways that we can help us. There's one thing that once you have enough information about something, it increases your confidence, it boosts your confidence to go out to, to do that thing. So one thing that can also help us cope is making sure we get the right information. There are so many information flying in the internet today on social media. For not following now, if you are going to follow, don't follow content creators. Content creators will increase your high and they'll give you high blood pressure. Follow verified sources. Follow news outlets. Follow news outlets that are verified so that you can get the right information that will guide your actions.
All right.
Let me just add one line.
This is okay.
To buttress what you said, aside taking a walk, I think do not joke with whoever is giving you absolute peace of mind right now. That one person that makes you genuinely happy, that one person that is your peace of mind in person. Do not joke with that person. Anybody that is a threat to your peace of mind, please
evacuate.
ASAP.
I think I'll say that at this time we should extend a hand of grace to people as well, because yes, you're going through a lot, but people are going through a lot as well. And if you can put a smile on someone's face, you probably have a smile on your own face throughout the end of the day. So this is all we can take for Ways Breakfast this morning. Join us again tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Have a great week ahead.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?